Hey, what's up, coach? I am coming to you from a pretty cool looking gym. My wife and I used to have a kettlebell studio years back, and right now I'm at this little private compound in the jungle feeling gym. It's got like kettlebells, one of my favorite tools, but it's got some other stuff like, wooden dumbbells and rocks and baskets and just all sorts of cool stuff. But that's beside the point. What I wanted to share with you is something that's kind of been on my mind for a little while. And it was an issue that I had personally. And I know a lot of coaches struggle with the same thing because I see it. I see it every day. And I believe that you could be leaving high value clients on the table because you're playing it too safe. Here's what I mean by that. Quite a while back, I had started posting more. I started putting my message out there about my business. And one of the biggest things that I hesitated on when doing that is sharing my faith, right? Sharing that I'm a Christian, not forcing it on anybody, but just saying, like, this is who I am and it's part of what I do. It's not, you don't have to be a Christian to work with me, but just know, like, this is who I am. It's part of me. It's part of my values. And I was really hesitant to do that at first. And I was trying to figure out, like, I know this is part of me and I want to put it out there, but I also don't want to seem like overbearing on people and, like, send off this weird message or things like that. And so I kind of kept it under for a while, right? Like, if I got into deeper conversations with people, then I was, open to having it. But as far as, like, on the front end, people are seeing my content for the first time, I was kind of like, I don't know if I want to do that. And eventually, this was just through some conversations that I had with different people. I decided, you know what? This is who I am. It's part of what I do, and I'm not going to hide it. And what happened when I started doing that was it actually kind of shocked me. It should have been obvious. But when I started sharing my convictions and making it part of what I put out there, what I bring to the table and who I show up as, people started resonating more than ever before. Like, I felt this overwhelming sense of support, of community, and like, that's what people connected with, like the realness of who I am, what I do, and why I do it. Now, I believe that if God created each one of us with a unique fingerprint, right? Like, literally unique fingerprint, but also figuratively. He's given us each a message to share. And when we cover up part of who we are and part of that unique design that he made us for, we're not able to serve the people that he has specifically called us to serve. And it's not until we put out our message with our full authenticity of who we are, will the right people hear it. I kind of think this Bible verse just came to mind about my sheep hear my voice and they know me. I don't remember exactly where that is, and I'm kind of paraphrasing it. But essentially, Jesus was saying, my sheep recognize my voice. They hear it and they know that it's me. They won't come to anyone else, but because I'm their shepherd, they'll come to me. I think that there are certain people out there who need to hear the message that you have, but they can't hear it from somebody else. Somebody else could say the same thing, but they're not going to hear it. It's not going to resonate until you say it. And I believe that some of those people are your highest value clients. And if you're playing it safe, if you're not showing up as the true you, as who you are, if you're putting a face on for your business and you're showing up for your business and your coaching business in a different way than you would show up personally, I think you're just leaving money on the table. I think you're leaving impact on the table. There are people who can only hear the message from you. And so if that's something that you've been thinking about, if there's been part of you that you've kind of been hiding, you're keeping it under wraps out of fear of, maybe I'm going to leave money on the table. Like, if I show who I truly am, if I show the messiness of who I am, if I share my deepest convictions, it's going to scare people away. I'm going to tell you something. Yes, it will. The answer is yes. But it is worth turning away some so that the right ones come in. I was asked on a podcast not that long ago. I kind of shared this similar idea of putting my convictions out there, of being who I am, and of sharing what I believe. And the guy who was interviewing me, he said, "Don't you think you're turning away money?" And I said, "Yes." And I feel fine about that because I know that not everybody is going to resonate with me. Each person has a message to share, and the people who need to hear it will resonate with it, but only if it comes from you. And so one thing that I know is that I believe I'm comfortable leaving money on the table so that I can be who I am, because I've done it the other way around. I have put on a facade in the past. I've tried to be somebody or leave parts of myself out, and there have been times where I've made money doing that, but I lost the piece. I lost part of who I am. I didn't feel like I was almost like you're giving up part of yourself. But here's the other thing I believe. Even though you may give up, you may leave some money on the table, I believe that there's a lot more waiting for you when you actually be the person who you are, who you were created to be. So I wanted to share that with you. If there's anything that you feel like you've been kind of keeping under wraps, that you've been putting a cover on, if there are convictions and beliefs that you have that you haven't been sharing, you haven't been showing, take a look at those areas. See if it's something that you want to continue doing. How do you feel about that? How do you feel about not just being yourself? My wife and I, we've got 4 kids at the time I'm recording this video, a 5th on the way, and our house is a mess sometimes. It's crazy. Sometimes I'm on calls and my kids run into my office and sitting on my lap while I'm on video chats and stuff. But that's who I am. That's the stage in life that I'm at, and it doesn't make sense for me to cover that up. Like, most people, they want authenticity. They want real connection. And those are the things that people relate to, right? I've had times where, my kids come on a call, like I was saying, and the person on the video call with me, they're like, "Oh, your kids are so cute." And, after they run away, they're like, "It's so cool to see you be a dad. Like, you are such a good dad." And that builds an even stronger connection because they know I'm not just like some guy. I'm not just some coach that they have. I'm an actual person. And it builds that bond even tighter when they're able to see who I am. Not just a small piece of who I am, but who I am in essence. So take a look at how you're showing up, how you're putting yourself out there. And if you feel good about how you're doing it, great. Continue doing that. I am so happy for you. But if there's any sense of I'm not putting myself out there fully, and you're doing it out of fear of what people will think, if you'll be judged, if you'll turn people away, that is okay. Because the people that you are called to serve will hear your message, but it might only be when you put your message out there, when you share who you are and what you believe with conviction, and you do it fully, right? You don't show up as somebody you're not. You show up fully as who you are. So I just wanted to share this with you. I hope it's been encouraging for you. And this is the way. This is the way that you connect with people. It's the way that you help them feel like they belong, right? And that's the first piece of this. The Contrarian Way is all about helping people feel like they belong, so they open their ears. You can share and help shift their beliefs, get them in alignment with the truth, so that they can become the person that they were meant to become.